Hey, recently out riding. I was going on a moto camping trip and had an issue on the V-Strom. What happened was I ran over something. I didn't even see it. It was in the shadows. And I got a flat in the rear. It was close to home, so I kind of limped it back. But what we're going to do today is take the rear tire off to get a new tire put on or fixed or whatever. So stick around and I'll show you hopefully how to do it. Alright, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to remove the speed sensor right here. It's part of your ABS and traction control and all that stuff. There's not much on here as far as tension. You're going to remove this, and I assume that's so you do not damage it when you reinstall the wheel, or maybe when you're taking it off. Okay, so that's out. Find a safe place for that. And so I don't lose it, I'm going to put the bolt right back in there, but not obviously tighten it all the way down. Hopefully. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to remove the rear axle nut. And keep in mind, I literally had to go get another set of sockets because this is 36 millimeter. And I didn't have anything, and I'm not going to try to use something crazy. So next thing you do is remove the rear axle nut. Hopefully. There we go. And this is torqued to 74 foot-pounds. It felt like more, but that's what they say. Next, you're going to loosen these chain adjusters. This one right here at the front is 12. Loosen these up, and I'll do the other side. Next, you're going to draw out the axle shaft. I'm using a rubber mallet just to get it started, and hopefully this sucker comes out pretty easy. Not too bad. Okay, now the wheel is free. Okay, now that the wheel does not have the axle shaft in there, you push it forward and then you can take off the chain. Okay, be careful not to let the rear wheel fall back towards you. Then you remove the rear brake caliper. Here's what I'm seeing, guys. The rear right here is 12 and the front is 14. There we go. Loosen that up. Be careful with that speed sensor. Kind of tight in here, just keep that in mind. Alright, once you've got those bolts out, you can maneuver carefully the wheel out. And this one is ready to go. It's actually pretty simple. A lot easier than I thought. The key is to protect the components. And with the wheel off, stay away from the rear brake. That will mess up the spacing of the pads. Now we're going to do the front wheel, and it's actually pretty simple. Just like in the rear, you're going to take the speed sensor, the ABS monitor, whatever you want to call it. You're going to take that off. This one is on a little bit better. Not surprising, the front's going to be a little bit different than the rear. You're going to remove the front brake caliper, which is a 12mm. It's on there pretty doggone good. There we go. Get that loosened. And you can see there's a white mark on there, which usually means they put Loctite on there. So I'm going to loosen these, take these off. One thing I'm going to do that it doesn't say in the owner's manual or the manual is I am going to obviously support this front. I'm just going to go a little bit until it makes contact. The balance is pretty good just until the front wheel comes off the ground. There it is. It's loose for when I take the front wheel off. Next, you're going to remove the axle nut. And the other side. The axle holder bolts, as they call them. And you guys probably know this already. All these things do is just put tension on the axle to hold it in place in case the nut comes off. Just a safety feature. All right. All right. Next thing you're going to do is draw the axle shaft out. It also said to position carefully under the exhaust pipe a jack, but we already did that before I even got to this point. Okay. And the wheel is out. Off to the dealership for new tires, guys. Alright, so here are the tires. These are Shinko 705s. Good price. Great tread. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. Based on my intended use, the 1050, the V-Strom 1050, these should work out perfect. Highly recommended from several folks, to include my good buddy Uli, who actually has these type of tires on his DR650. So now I got to put them back on, which is a reverse order of how I took them off.